this shows that you have good sympathy for other people, because warm-hearted we can see with high Venus mount here and your lifeline wider. So you're extroverted person. Maybe in the beginning of life you were shy, but when I see these lines here, you're warm-hearted and extroverted person, I can say. Also, when the Venus mount is high, is shows like good willpower, and then libido as well, and then we can say nice energy, good energy to have, physical power as well. So this is good to have like this. And then of course for willpower we need good fate line here as well, so which is they are good in the hand. I will come there, especially your heart line. There are many branches, so one branch goes mixed to the headline here, and other one goes like mixing with the other fate line here, and one more branch here goes to Jupiter and makes triangles with the Suleiman ring of Solomon's. These triangles here, pairing, crossing with the heart and ring of Solomon's. You are a very humanist and positive person, we can say that. And you can have occult studies, also philosophy, which is when we see this, your finger knocks here very big. You see, well developed. They are extra big. So this shows that together with this, always knowledge comes. You really observe that knowledge, and then, or you have to make decision. You really see all the details that can help you with your job as well. Can be good quality controller, because your headline also, we cannot say very practical, because your heart line very strong in the hand, like you go with your feeling as well. But when you see like this, nobody can push you to make quick decision. You always have to think, and you go to deep inside with philosophically thinkings, and then you make decisions like that. And then this is good for spirituality, or maybe study on psychology. These kind of things can be interesting. You can read books about them. Maybe you're gonna have new hobbies or new studies for you if you are feeling on this. Also, we see many Jupiter lines here. They shows that you finished university and then you got a good job, which can be government. Maybe you did it before for government, or big franchise companies, so on. So these lines shows that you are ambitious person. You have targets to reach always. You have a goals in life, visions. So these lines are very important to have to push. To get it better always. And in emails I saw also you have things to do in life. You are waiting for them. So this another line like that. There are also effort lines raising like that. There are early ages, before 20. Let's say these things happen, or maybe this one after 20 a little bit, like finishing the university maybe. But those lines also all related about education, and start the life very early, and then, which is in the email also you were saying. In the email it says, I would like to know if you can see in the palms if the career path aligns with my desires that I have always had since childhood. Yes, like you were feeling and you were pushing early ages. Like in early ages, you take the life seriously when we saw these lines, like education, and then start the life, making money, feeling, and then it was very early ages, which is fate line also early ages appearing here. That shows that early ages was important to make a good start. So that's all set here, like you said, we can see that lines. So you did what you're supposed to do. And then another thing about heartline, there are branches here on the Jupiter month. You have good empathy. You understand other people, but sometimes your character might change, because one branch goes to Saturn. That shows that you can be self-centered sometimes. Your character might be changed. This is sometimes in relationships can be effect if they don't know you very well. And then sometimes, and you put yourself in the center of everything. But we can say this branch also strong. So sometimes like this, sometimes like that. This might change, but regularly you are good with people, you're good empathy, you like to help. But sometimes maybe you hide that feelings. You are more centered about, you care about money, your career, yourself more. So that's not can be big problem. This is good for making money and then for career, but sometimes you have other part too. So you have to have a balance always. You have to be careful about this talks and feelings. Like you sometimes you care more about your desires and your wishes and what you want to have than other people you can give. This kind of difference. Like I said, Jupiter lines also if you're interested in politics can be good, especially with the long term and then with long index finger you can be leader and then you can lead people, you know. But there has to be some goal related to your hobbies or your missions, you know, it has to be like that. And then you can be always good with public spheres, especially with the sun lines are strong in your hands. So you will not be shy. You can be in front of people always. And then this is good to have always in life, for career, for charities or politics, you know, that's good to have leading. Long term also makes you very strategic thinking always. You're planner, you know, you want to have goals and then you should know always what to do next 10 years, where you're gonna be yourself. So you always plan that and you organize that. This is also a good quality to have. And being ambitious and a responsible person, also being controller and leadership abilities. Having a good willpower and determination, of course, with that and that supporting with good Venus mount here. So Venus qualities are good. And lifeline is very important line. It goes wide. This is good for longevity and plus being extroverted and then it shows to attachment to the earth and then shows that how much you expect from the God. You know, that's very important to have a deep lifeline and wider lifeline. It shows that your belongingness to earth, you know, you don't give up easily. So that makes you live longer. And then for that also good life qualities you're gonna have and then for physical power also for good immunity system to have this very important. And also the sea branches here, this is abroad settlement lines and then which is you are abroad already. That shows that I think you came later to the US or you were born there. If you were born there, you can also go other countries. So this is good for international businesses. Also, your fate lines comes from month of moon. That shows that as much as far from family or where you belong or where you were born, it's better for you. Like overseas business, like things like that. You can work online for other people from far away. So you can have a good chance like that or changing cities, sometimes changing careers can be good. Or for marriage, also this person can be far away, so you have to travel to find her. You know, this is another thing. But it can be good marriage as well with the lines like this from month of moon. Also, your moral is always good. You are not very depressive person. If we see lines like this, they are more depressive, demoralizing lines. But you have more upper, so your moral is always better. Shows that. But I saw here ring of Saturn, you easily blame yourself for if you are not successful on some things and then you demoralize yourself maybe a little bit and you blame yourself. So you should be careful with that. There is Grill of Venus here as well. And then also Saturn ring. Saturn ring is very dangerous line. So you should be very careful if you feel very deep depressed yourself. You should always, you know, go see the professionals and then that can be one warning here. But generally when I look at the hand it looks good for, you know, for moral. And especially with the Naki fingers here you are very spectacle about everything. Maybe other people they are thinking bad about you, you feel like that, you know, you're always spectacle about anything in life for work for other people. So maybe you have some trust issue, so you should be careful with these feelings also. Of course, they are good to have to be spectacled about everything, but you need to control that as well, and then not go too high, you know. So these trust issues also can be affecting your marriage life. You know, you don't trust and you don't get married. Maybe this is one of the reasons can be why you are not married. Another thing, Grill of Venus here also related some blockage. You know, sometimes you feel not value or you feel like small things can be big problems. You know, so with age, of course, you get over them, but sometimes these feelings can come. Also, Grill of Venus can give you good spiritual powers, and then you can feel other people, their characters, they are good or bad. This is good to have as well. Also, being attractive, especially with the sunlight, you have good energy. People maybe like you, you know, when they say you. This also can make your marriage easy. You know, you can be noticed by other people easily, which is your sun line is also not too bad in your hand, especially with rule of Venus together. You can be attractive, you know. I don't know if you had issues with it, but I don't think when you see these lines here, it could be no problem with this. So also with Grill of Venus, always like to work, especially with the simian lines in your hand. You always produce something. You want to do something. You don't want to sit without doing nothing. For your hobbies, things you like to do, you're always busy with everything in life. That's also good quality. So on your lifeline again, when we come to these effort lines in your hand, which is here in this picture, these are in the beginning. Later in life, we saw like this. They're kind of traveling lines, also like your incomes. So you achieve things, you know, maybe getting properties, travelings involving maybe, or of course there are stresses when you have them. You get something, but with stress, not easy for you, you know. For this is for everybody actually, but they are good lines to have for your life quality. Every year you make it better, which is good. And then yeah, your standards, life standards could be getting better. And you already maybe noticed this because these are previous years, so you might have something already. Yeah, maybe property or some savings, you know, some investments. This is good to have, and later in life they are still continue here. And you were wondering also, lines come from Venus month and mixing to Fate line. That was one of your question, and you said they are not looking very visible in the pictures, but I can imagine them. I see them a little bit here. This is sun line actually, and then some lines goes to Mercury, but some of them, like this is maybe heritage line. This is comes from family ring, and then same time here touching, and then this connection line starts. Maybe in the future, maybe 4 or 5 years later, some heritage can come with family, and it can be very good for you to start something. And then with mixing the Fate line here, you know, mostly maybe from the father side, this heritage. And these lines were not here before. You said, yeah, the lines can be changed, you know. How they change when you being very active in the life. You meet a lot of people, many things going on. You manage more than business, or you've been in more than team, you know. So many things, many efforts makes many lines in the hand. Of course, more stress also makes more lines. And then this kind of things affect. Of course, when that lines appearing more in the hand, you should always being with your heart, you know, your veins and then circulations, you know. So you need to make sports and then feed yourself good. So this exercising, fresh air always at the same time become more important when you become active in the business life as well, with the stress and everything, you know. This is always goes together. So you should do for your body as well. You should work for your body, your feelings, and for spirituality works you need to do.